Good morning, guys. It's Sunday. I'm not sure about the date. When you're busy, you don't keep track of dates unless it's countdown to going on vacation, that is. Those of you that have known me for a while know that how much I love working outside, working on, you know, cutting grass and running the chainsaw, weed eating and all that. But if you drive up to my property, you will think otherwise. The areas that I usually mow have been neglected the past few months, ever since that storm hit. It's been about 2 months now. It left me with, you guessed it, I've been singing that song for a while, the 4 uprooted trees. So needless to say, that's what I've been dealing with. And like I said, it leaves little time for anything else. Like on my days off, when I'm off for the weekend, running the chainsaw. I leave work at the end of the day. Guess what? I'm running the chainsaw. So I still have 2 more trees to deal with, but today I'm gonna take the time and at least tackle my driveway area, which is what I'm walking on right now. We have a tree that split. That thing right there. Yep. Split right there. Right there. Just split. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna clean it up and I'm gonna mow. And the grass is so tall, I'm probably gonna have to mow with the deck set kind of high, and then come back with the deck at a lower setting. So yeah, that's my plan for the day. Like I said, now the areas around the house, we've been letting the goats. I'm gonna go in the shade because I'm sweating. We've been letting the goats and the horses on the immediate area around the house. So the grass and weed have been, kept under control. I come around and weed eat a little bit in certain areas, but other than that, I haven't had to do much. The other day I did take the mower, just make everything a little even. But if you didn't know any better, you would think that somebody has been mowing the yard. But this section here, like I said, in my driveway, I ran the mower the other day, and I'm gonna change the camera here. I ran the mower a little bit the other day, but it started raining. I'm gonna sweat. So I ran the mower in this area and came down here, but then it started raining. And I was actually surprised because it was actually just rain, not your usual storm that we normally get. But on the other side of this tree line here, we have, it's not field fence, it's weather wire. And the goats and the horses are right there on that section. But here in this area, we usually let the horses out here. But we have not been doing so much this year. Like I said, because of the messes we've had to deal with ever since the storm. Now the goats cannot go on this side because on the other side of that tree line, it's a cow pasture, but in between us and them is nothing but barbed wire. So the goats will go through the barbed wire like it's nothing. Now the horses don't bother. So I'm just gonna take a before and after shots. Yeah, That's gonna be a mess. What I'm probably gonna do is I am probably gonna start cutting, and then I'll have the truck, one of the trucks back here, so I'll start loading as I'm cutting, so I can haul it off to a wood splitting area or to the burn pile. But anyways, guys, that's what I have planned for the day. And it's, I don't know, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's already 87 or 88 degrees. But it says it feels like 91. So I need to like put this down, and get after it. Like I said, we usually let the horses out, but we haven't been able to this year, dealing with either the storm or injuries or this or that. Another thing that I'm planning on doing is there's some trees that are clustered, especially on the tree line, and I'm probably gonna thin them down. I'm gonna, for instance, there's a cluster. And there's another little cluster. And what happens is, over time, either some of them that are within the cluster end up dying, or they all end up dying. So, because they don't have enough space to expand. And same thing, we have a cluster over there, and we have several clusters going up that section. So, all right, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna put this down, get the mower, get the weed eater, chainsaw, and anything else I have in my toolbox to tackle this project. All right, guys. To the next one. It is 95 degrees, heat index of 102. Humidity is not as bad as it usually is. It's 41. I think it was 41% last time I checked. So, guys, I'm done for the day. Like I said, that driveway has been neglected as far as mowing and weed eating. That's because I've been, working on the backside of the property. So the reason why weed eat it around that tree that's down is so it gives me a pretty much like cleaning the work area. And I kid you not, I don't know if you can hear the guineas pretty much saying, we're here, we're here. So yeah, every time I pull the camera and start talking to the phone, they show up. Anyhow, so yeah, the reason why I weed eat around that tree that's halfway down is so it gives me a clear, trying to like clean up that area before I show up with a chainsaw and start cutting. So I know where I'm stepping, and I know, like if I'm reaching down, I know what I'm grabbing. So more than likely that will be tomorrow. I might start on it. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Like I said, I'm more out. I took a couple of breaks here and there. So the longer stretch on the driveway, that is our halfway point in our driveway, and there's a creek that runs underneath it. I like to weed eat the sides of it because on the edges it tends to drop on both sides. So if we're riding the horses out of the property, I would like to know that the horses can see, say, hey, there's an edge here, don't step over the edge. So, and also maybe for visitors to maybe see that there's don't pull to one side or the other one. But mostly for the, no offense, mostly for the horses to see the edges. Anyways, guys, I will wrap it up right here, right now. Still got to go feed the animals, feed the horses, goats, pigs, guineas, ducks and chickens. I think I forgot a set or two. And I may or may not record the chainsaw process, so we'll see. If this is the end of the video, thank you for watching. If not, I'll see you in the next clip or on the next video following this one. All right, guys.